Hi there, Traveling Troy here. Welcome to my camp. In today's video, I want to talk about campsite selection and parking tips and tricks or strategies. This isn't only for the van life community, but also for the RV community as well. And this is mainly for BLM camping, basically dispersed camping on BLM land and at national forests. So let's jump right into it.
Traveling Troy, new videos weekly. Like and subscribe.
Well, you might be thinking to yourself, well, what's so hard about picking out a campsite? You pull up, you find a level spot, you put it in park, and you unload your stuff, right? That's pretty easy. But there are actually a number of things to think about when choosing your campsite. When I'm picking out my campsite, I usually always try to face the front of the van to the north. As you can see, my van has windows on the passenger side, on the back, but no walls, no windows on the main wall here, though I do have a window there. So for the strategy of parking your van to the north or your RV to the north is, if you do have a window here on this side, in the mornings, if you're in an area like I am right now, it's cold or cool in the mornings. So it's nice to have that sun coming into this window. The sun, you're facing the north, sun comes up in the east, it comes in this window and kind of warms up the van in the mornings. Well, the sun is great in the mornings to warm up the van, but what about in the afternoon as the sun gets above you and it starts getting a little bit hot? Well, hopefully you have something in place like this. On my van, pretty much the whole roof is covered with solar panels, which helps block the sun, and also I have insulation in the ceiling, which will also help insulate the heat when the sun is directly above you. So when you have your van, the front of your van facing to the north, the sun will be setting to the west, back behind the camera here. So that means the sun will be hitting this wall here. If you have a window, well, you can always put some sort of a window covering up there to kind of block the heat. But if you have something like this where there's no window and you have insulation inside there, that will keep a lot of the heat out of the van as the sun sets on the west in the evenings. So it doesn't always work out like this, but with my van facing to the north, I try to put the west side of the van, the driver's side of the van, facing something like a forest or a wall, some sort of natural barrier on this side to keep my blind side basically blocked off to where really so no one else can park to that side of the van. Another thing to keep in mind when parking your van in a campsite, what type of terrain are you parking on? This particular ground is pretty hard. If we had a lot of rain, I wouldn't be too worried about getting stuck here. If the campsite you choose happens to be in a grassy area or just standard dirt, make sure you're at least keeping yourself close to a road, a nice rocky gravel road like this that seems to be like it would hold up pretty well to rain. For me, one of the first things I do when I get my campsite is put up my front window shade, and this was made with Reflectix, 3 pieces of Reflectix and Flex Fix aluminum tape to connect the 3 pieces together. That's the first thing that goes up. That's the start of the privacy. And then from there, what I try to do, which doesn't always work because like I said, I try to face the van north and try to put my driver's side of the van up against some sort of a natural barrier. So this side actually works out pretty well. I've got both those going on. This is my main window that I look out of, and that window looks directly out to the little road out here. This is the side road, and then the main road is right out there. So through this window, I have a view of anyone coming and go. Excuse me. I have a view of anyone coming and going in the area. At this particular campsite, the back windows are facing to the south. And this also gives me a view of the main road. I can see, well, the kind of trees block it a little bit, but I can basically see people coming and going on the road. Okay, so now let's head inside the van, and I'll show you how this all looks from the interior of the van. Okay, so now here we are inside the van. This is the driver's side wall, the long wall I showed you on the outside. It has insulation behind here, so as the sun sets to the west, sun hits this wall, and I don't even feel it. I don't feel any heat coming off this wall. So that's a great reason. If you don't have a window on your driver's side like this, that's a great reason to park the front of the van to the north, driver's side van to the west. Now when you wake up in the morning, it might be kind of cold in the van, like I said earlier. So as the sun's coming up on the east side of the van, you might want to expose that window on the east side to let the sun come in and start heating up the van without having to use your heater or your propane heater or whatever. So here's a look at my curtains. They come together like this, and I have these little clips that kind of hold the two curtains together. You unclip them, and then let's say it's the morning time and I'm pulling back the curtain and allowing the sun to come through now to start heating up the van. Now as the van starts heating up during the day and maybe getting a little bit too hot, you know, maybe I'll go and pull this curtain back so that I can like set up my little office setup, but then there's too much sun coming through here. So one of the things I like to do with this curtain is to bring it over here. See if I can do this one-handed. Bring it over here and I'll clip it right up there. That's not the best clipping job. It's hard to do one-handed. There we go. I'll get up there and clip it like that, and then put another clip. Okay, and then I'll clip it like that. That way we got that blocking the sun and that's blocking the sun, so I can take my seat, pull my desk up, and get some work done without the sun bearing down on me, because I still have this other window letting light in over here. Notice this also gives me a good view of the little side road there, and I also have a basic view through the trees of the main road, so I can watch people come and go. In the morning I can also open up my back windows to let even more heat in if it's really cold outside, or if it happens to be kind of a hot day. As you can see, the sun is starting to come in here. I can always pull these things closed as well. So that is the sun shining. It's coming from the east side. It shine, depending on the time of year, it could shine in a little bit to the south of my van, south side of my van, but I can put these up to block that. See, that over there is what I'm talking about. You might get some rain come in, so you really got to be aware of where you're parking. Make sure you can get out if it gets really bad. Or if you pack your van correctly, you might be able to hang out for a couple of days until it dries up. Okay, so another tip. Back of the van, front of the van. Whenever you park and disperse camping, try to keep them clear. That way you have a way in. I mean, you have a way out, forward or reverse. You never know. Maybe a bear is trying to get into your back door. Well, as always, one of the best things about dispersed camping on BLM land or even out in a national forest is if you don't like your neighbors, meaning maybe they're too loud, they got a generator running, I don't know, they talk too loud, or they just park too close to you and you feel cramped, you can always pack up and move. There's plenty of places to camp, so if you're going to be there for a week or two, you want to make sure you can enjoy your time there. And sometimes the neighbors can be a bit of a problem. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope some of these tips were helpful to you. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe it's all old news to you, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Lots more videos coming your way. Thanks a lot for watching.